Good morning, everybody. We are going to be talking this morning about how to survive a month of illness using oils. But before I start on that, I want to say, first of all, thank you to all of you who have been remembering me in your prayers. I appreciate it. I'm a lot better. I'm not great, but I'm a lot better. And so I thank you. And secondly, Lord willing, we will be back to our normal routine and talk about turmeric oil next week. I do have an Oils of the Bible class coming up on March 4th at 5:30. If you'd be interested in that, message me or comment and I'll get you the information. And also, y'all need to clear your calendar for March 9th at 7 p.m. at the Log Cabin in Fayetteville. Lisa Behringer, our upline from California, is going to be here supporting Kathy Gobble in her quest for continuing in Diamond Club. And so she's going to be teaching a very special class called Dream Class. And you're going to learn about oils from someone who has been using them for more than 6 years and overcome some serious health issues like essential tremor and rheumatoid arthritis and things like that. So she's got a wealth of knowledge. And there's going to be an optional make and take at the end. So it's going to be fun, fun, fun. 7 p.m. in Fayetteville at the Log Cabin on March 9th. Save the date. So with all of that out of the way, let's get started. So what happened to me? At the end of January, I was, over the course of a week or two, exposed to about 20 people who had serious illness, ranging from sinus infection to the flu to upper respiratory infection to coughing junk. And so I got sick as a result of it. I know and so I went to the doctor with what I thought was a sinus infection, and they swabbed me, was positive for type A flu, and so the flu ran its course, and I still had the sinus infection, and then it went into double ear infection. So why it happened? Well, there's a couple reasons why it happened. First of all, I was just overwhelmed with the amount of germs that I was exposed to. Secondly, I had not been to the chiropractor since the beginning of December, and I have a place in my neck that goes out, and when my neck goes out, my sinuses clog. And it was like that, and I knew it was like that, and I just chose to ignore it because I didn't want to make the time to go to the chiropractor so that my sinuses would drain. So that added to things because my head was already not functioning properly. Y'all, don't tell my husband I said that. And working too many hours over Christmas vacation. I was working extra hours at one of my part-time jobs inside an airplane repairing curtains, and it was a musty, moldy airplane, and so it was challenging me respiratorily. And then extra hours at my doTERRA business because I was trying to meet a goal by the end of February. And so, and then really, I'm going to be honest with you, I never got consistent with using the On Guard and the diffuser in the evening this year. Never ever. Maybe once or twice a week. And same thing with my flu bomb roller bottle. I'd swipe it on once or twice in the course of a week. So very inconsistent use with the oils that I knew I needed to use. So what I did, when I found out that I had the flu, I changed up a little bit what I had been doing. But I have battled so much congestion, y'all. I have used almost a whole bottle of Breathe in the month of February since this illness started. So Breathe on my chest, on the bottoms of my feet, a little bit right there under my nose. Also On Guard drops, throat drops, and Breathe throat drops, and gargling with 1 drop of peppermint to help soothe the throat. At night, I would use the Breathe vapor stick on my chest and under my nose and on the bottoms of my feet, just because it's got a little bit longer lasting impact. And then I was doing On Guard soft gels every 4 hours. But when I found out that I had the flu, I changed that up because they wanted to give me a prescription for Tamiflu, and I didn't want to take Tamiflu because of the possible side effects. So I changed that up and put 4 drops of DDR Prime and 2 drops of Melissa in a veggie cap, and I used that as my substitution for Tamiflu. Hey Michelle, thank you for joining me. Hope you guys are well. So I also every 4 hours was putting Melaleuca and Oregano Touch on the bottoms of my feet and using that for an antibiotic because I knew I needed an antibiotic with all of this in here. And then internally, I was taking my vitamin supplements faithfully and lemon and wild orange in my tea, taking extra vitamin C. I also have homemade tinctures of olive leaf and elderberry, which I use for the elderberry is a decongestant and the olive leaf is a natural antibiotic. And then at night, I was putting Melissa and lavender and Breathe and sometimes eucalyptus in the diffuser and setting it to run for 10 hours at night. So I made sure to put the Melissa in there so I was getting that aromatically to fight the flu as well. Because, you know, Melissa is the strongest antiviral single blend essential oil that doTERRA has. It's stronger than the On Guard even for antiviral. So that's why I went to Melissa when I found out that it was the flu I was dealing with. And so then lots of rest, naps whenever I felt like it, hydration, that's key when you have the flu, just drinking. And for my headaches that I got, because I didn't have them the whole time, but I got some pretty severe head pain that was associated with the flu and the sinuses. And so what I did for that was in a veggie capsule, 6 drops of frankincense, 6 drops of copaiba, and 6 drops of marjoram every 4 hours, as long as I needed it. So what I'm doing for my sinuses, still what I am doing for my sinuses. I have a facial steamer that has a little receptacle that heats up water, and so I put 1 drop of lemon, peppermint, melaleuca, and oregano, and I turn that on and I inhale while it's steaming, and I do that for 3 or 4 minutes, and I do that about 3 or 4 times a day to get those oils up into my sinus cavity. I was doing a saline rinse, but saline rinse is how I got the ear infection because I was so congested it went straight to my eardrums, and I knew as soon as it happened that it was a bad thing. And then I woke up that night with ears screaming. Went to urgent care the next day, got seen by a doctor, and she's like, yep, you got a sinus infection, double ear infection. And this ear was so bad that it was bulging, and it still has not cleared all the way yet. So I will be really happy when the congestion goes all the way down and that clears. So for the double ear infection, and she gave me a prescription for Augmentin 875 milligrams, which at that point I took it because I have been doing all this stuff that should be fighting off the infection, and I felt like I wasn't making any headway with it. So I started the antibiotic. I will have been on the antibiotic for, today makes day 8 of being on the antibiotic. I am still getting infected matter out of my head, and I still have all this congestion. I also added Mucinex to it to help dry all that out. So y'all hear how I sound right now. I've had a Mucinex, I have steamed my sinuses, I have put peppermint on the roof of my mouth, and I have Digest Zen on my sinuses topically, and I still sound like this. I have had a massive amount of congestion. So for the double ear infection, what I also did was I kept doing the oregano touch and the melaleuca on the bottoms of my feet, but I also started doing it around my ears. And you can actually take 1 drop of melaleuca and just set the cotton ball inside there and let it set for 30 minutes. Don't jam it down into the ear canal, just let it set in there to help with an earache as well. But I also, to the oregano and the melaleuca, added basil, helichrysum, and juniper berry, and yep, that was it. Oregano touch, melaleuca, basil, helichrysum, and juniper berry, and I just layered them. So even though my hair is clean, it looks like it's not because of all the oils that I've been applying around my ears, and doing that several times a day. I also have been to the chiropractor twice, got the net put back in, and he even adjusted my ears this last time. And I will be going back to the chiropractor on Monday to make sure my neck hasn't moved out and the drainage has stopped. Hey Diane, thank you for joining me. So I have an over-the-counter decongestant, like I said, and what I'm doing now, because I don't have the flu anymore, so I went back to my regular diffuser blend, which is lavender and breathe. And now my ear is better, so I'm not doing the juniper and the basil and the helichrysum, but I've switched to, I'm still doing the oregano touch and the melaleuca because those two combined together are really powerful for infection fighting. And I'm using my Immortel roller bottle, which has frankincense and helichrysum and rose and some other things. So it's actually fighting the inflammation and helping to calm things down. And at night, I've been putting my magnolia touch around there just to calm things down. And that is when the congestion has gone down the most, at night. So I can't do magnolia during the day. It knocks me out. I would be sleeping all the time. So basically what I have learned from all of this is that, number one, consistency is key in preventative. And so I'm going to be a whole lot better, more faithful with my diffuser with On Guard in the evening because there's still lots of stuff going around. Self-care is crucial, and I failed at the self-care too. And lastly, I learned that sometimes you need oils and meds, and that's okay. The oils are wonderful because they're just an additional tool to use, but the important thing is to take care of yourself so that you can get back to where you need to be. So I hope that none of you have to go through what I went through. And if you have any questions about anything that I talked about in this video today, be sure to message me or drop a comment and I will get back with you. Y'all have a blessed day and a blessed rest of the week, and we will be back to talking about our oils next week, Lord willing, with turmeric. See y'all later. Bye.